Hello. Welcome back. My name is Dr. Christopher Gennari, and this is our introduction to, well, me. So hello. My name is Dr. Christopher Gennari. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I am a full professor of history. That's the highest rank you can get at a university. I'm a full professor of history at Camden County College, and I've been here since 2007. My PhD is in European military history from the State University of New York at Stony Brook. My book is Invasions, Insurgency, and Interventions, Sweden's Wars in Poland, Prussia, and Denmark, 1654 to 1658. So I am specifically a Scandinavian historian. I am specifically a Swedish military historian, and I am actually the leading Swedish 17th century military historian in the United States, because there's me. There's two of us and who really work on this. I do the military. The other gentleman out in California, he does culture. And I know this because when we go to conferences, we're always put on the same panel together because we have papers on the same time period. So it's always like, hey, Joe, how are you? It's like, hey, Christopher, how are you? And we'll go out and have lunch, and because we're the only people who know the topics we're talking about. So you're getting an expert. That's why I bring this up. I don't try to be like, oh, I have a book. I'm an expert in my field. I know what I'm talking about. So you should trust me. If you've ever had one of those classes where you're like, I know more than the professor, this is not one of those classes. You may know a lot more about a lot of stuff than I do. But within the four walls of our class, within the boundaries of history, whatever we are, 101, 102, 122, whatever we're in, I know more than you, which is the way it's supposed to be. That's what you're paying me for. You're paying me to know more than you, so we can have a level of trust. That's what we're here for. That's our relationship. So some math about me. In my 20 years of teaching at the college level, because I taught before at different places as an adjunct and as a TA and as a GA at different colleges before I came to Camden County College, I have taught some 18,000 students. I have graded some 41,000 essays. I have read over 1 million short answer questions. And I have read somewhere around 61,500,000 words written by students. Why do I bring this up? Because let's ask a couple questions. Do you think I know the difference between an A and a C by looking at them? Do you think I know when a student is plagiarizing, i.e. stealing words from somewhere else written by somebody else? And do I know when a student is lying? And the answer is yes. Yes, I do. Why? Because I've seen it all before. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. I've had everything from grandmothers dying multiple times to just the banal. You know, just at this specific second that I was going to take the test, my internet cut out. Well, then I look at your log on your campus and find out you logged in at 11:58. So you were going to take a test in a minute. No, you're lying. I know you're lying. Come on. So I've seen it. I know what an A looks like. I can read one paragraph and more or less go, that's going to be an A. And I know what a C looks like. Why? Because I've read 40,000 essays, and a lot of them are C's, and every C sounds the same. It's like Anna Karenina, where it's like every happy family is the same, but every tragic family is different. Well, every A is unique. Every A sounds different, because the way you get an A is the way you play guitar really well. You make it your own. You know what you're doing well enough that you can tell your own story within the limitations, within the confines. C's all sound the same because they're mostly summary. They take the notes. Students don't really know what they're talking about, so they do the safest thing. They repeat the notes. They repeat things word for word. That's why on short answers, they can say, oh, the line in the notes is X, is Cleopatra is Queen of Egypt. But they can't tell me what the context was, which was Cleopatra fought Rome to save her country from conquest. They can remember one, but the other one is not literally there. It's the context. It's who she is. It's in the notes. It's explained. But one is literal, word for word, written on the page, and the other is contextual. Well, we're in college now. We're not in high school. We're not in elementary school. So we deal with context. We deal with what words mean to understand them. This is not a memorization class. And so if you can practice enough, you could all achieve that. This is not hard. You do it all the time, and we'll talk about that. So what does this all mean? So why start with these numbers and why? And it's basically to keep it real, to keep it 100. I am explaining our relationship, and I am not warm and fuzzy, and I'm sorry. I am your professor. I am a good ally. I am fully in support of you. But I ain't your mama. I'm not your priest. I'm not your good buddy. So the first thing is to tell the truth. I'll respect you even if I can't grant your wish, even if I can't help you. I will respect you. And that respect means in the future something positive. Oh, it's always positive. But if I know you're a lying liar, why am I going to help you? You get a 79.3. Why would I give you a B if I know you're a lying liar? You got to see. You didn't get the 79.5. You know? I hate lying because I am so not worth being lied to. Because I'm all about the work. I'm not your priest. I'm not your mama. I don't judge. I'm about the work. So you can lie all you want. Your test is still a C. And the work is the work. You know? And that is the lesson of life right there. It's like, the work is the work. If you are a bad surgeon, you did a bad surgery. You can't then lie about it. You can't be like, well, no, it's bad. It is bad. It is in the work. So second is don't cheat. Don't plagiarize. You don't write like a 19th century British historian, so don't hand one in. Also, dudes, I can Google search. And I could do it in different languages. I have caught plagiarists in Albanian, in Chinese, in Arabic, and in Brazilian. Because I also know how to analyze, I know how to think, and I know how to do a search. And so if I have a Brazilian student, I know they're not going to search in English. So when I do a search in English, I know it's not coming up. So what do? Search for it in Brazilian. And boom, there it is. First thing. Anyway, with the plagiarism, I don't even have to prove where you took it from if you're plagiarizing or cheating. Only that you're cheating, only that you're plagiarizing. I have to be, and basically that is, go to my other professors. The faculty is a union. The faculty has always been, for 800 years, universities have been built about you faculty working together. And so I go to my other professors and go, read this. Did you think a first-year Camden County College student wrote this? And they will read one paragraph, turn to me and go, no. And there you go. Done. It's nice if I can find it. I don't have to. I don't care. You're not worth that much work. I have to know you didn't do it, and I know you didn't do it, and then I need colleagues to say, no, he didn't do it. And then it's done. Boom. Get a 0. Moving on. 3. Bullying me doesn't accomplish anything. So if you need a grade, take somebody else, man. We're here to work together. I'm here to help you get better at, like, brain stuff. That's my job. That's what you're paying me for. If you're paying for an A, go to University of Phoenix, go to a for-profit college, go pay them. Like, I'm teaching you how to be a better person. If you don't want to be a better person and you just want to buy something, a product, go somewhere else. Because I can't lie to you. The moment you pay me, you are telling me, Professor, tell me what I'm bad at and help me get better. But if you're going to bully me, you don't care what you're bad at. You just want a thing. But see, you can't bully the medical board for your certification. You can't bully the HR department to change your work hours. And you can't bully the judge or the lawyers for your malpractice when you took shortcuts. Do good work and you'll do well. No one gets screwed in my class. I know you have other stuff going on. I do. I know you have girlfriends and boyfriends and parents and quarantine and you're working 2 jobs and you're trying to, and you got loans and I know that because I've been through all of that. But in the end, it's about the work. And about acceptance. If I hand in a shitty grade, a shitty essay, I know it's shitty. And I don't yell at the professor to give me an A for that. I go, look, I was working 40 hours. My girlfriend was breaking up with me. My dog ran away. Like, dude, I was putting up with a lot of stuff. I didn't have time to really edit a 15-page paper. I didn't. And like the Delphic Oracle that says, know thyself, or Shakespeare, to thy own self be true, you have to accept your limitations, and that's okay. That's the learning experience. But being good, doing good work requires time and practice, and unfortunately, we don't have a lot of it. I don't have a lot of it. You don't have a lot of it. It's like learning the guitar or how drug interactions work or driving. When you first started driving, how good were you? How good are you now? There are a few guarantees I will give you, but I know my car insurance is less than yours. Unless you are of a certain age similar to mine. Why? Why? Because I've been driving probably longer than many of you have been alive at this point. And so the insurance company goes, well, you haven't had an accident in 30 years versus you who just started driving last Tuesday. So my car insurance is way less than yours. Because of experience, because of time, because of practice. And yelling at me that you need an A doesn't make your CSA better. And my job is to keep it 100 so that you can learn who you are. That's what we teach in history, who you are. So why do we have to learn history? Why is this a required class? Why is this a gen ed class? Why does almost every major require it? Why is it one of the 5 great subjects that the Greeks taught? The Death Star. The Star Wars Death Star is why. Why? That seems weird, Professor. That seems esoteric. Well, science can tell you if you can build a Death Star. Can you build a space station so big and so powerful it could blow up a planet? Science can tell you that. Economics can tell you if you can afford one and how. Philosophy can discuss whether or not it's a good idea. Morality. Is it good to build a machine that can murder 1 billion people in 8 seconds? That's philosophy. Public speaking can tell you how to persuade people to let you build one. And computer science can tell you how to program all the apps so that the Death Star runs. So when you push a button, the laser shoots out and blows up the planet. Or when you push a different button, the toilet flushes. Because let's be honest, which one is more embarrassing when it doesn't work? The laser not shooting or the toilet not flushing? I'll tell you the answer, and you know what the answer is. You have watched the Star Wars movies. How many lasers have you seen be shot and miss their targets? Versus how many times have you seen a stormtrooper go to the bathroom? Right? So computer science tells you how to program the apps. History tells you what happens in the first Star Wars, The New Hope. Star Wars, when I was a kid, it was Star Wars, and then it's A New Hope, and then Star Wars 1, and now it's Star Wars 4. I don't even know what it is anymore. But what happened to the original Death Star? It was blown up. Boom. History tells you you know that. So it can inform the Empire whether or not it is a good idea to build a second one in Jedi. And guess what? They didn't ask the historians, because they built the second one in Jedi, and it got blown up by Lando Calrissian in the Millennium Falcon. Who could have seen that one coming? Oh, only every historian who said they blew it up the first time with a small SWAT team and a magical laser wizard. They'll probably do it again now that the magical laser wizard is a veteran magical laser wizard. History is Greek for inquiry. It's not his story or any of that BS. It's inquiry. It's to ask why. Why? That's what history means. History is why. So it makes it the most important of the original subjects, because the question is, why? Why? Why did this happen? Why did it turn out that way? Why did it matter? And what happened because of it? It's also the skill that coders are looking for. Silicon Valley has plenty of coders. In an article called Forget Coding, Writing is Design's Unique Skill, the CEO is, I can teach anyone to code. I can't teach them how to think about something, and I don't have the time to teach them how to express what they think about it. Silicon Valley has plenty of engineers and coders. What they need is thinkers. And history teaches a skill, which makes it a shame. And this is my little soapbox, but it makes it a shame that politicians keep saying, oh, we want tech jobs. We want tech jobs. We want tech jobs. But they don't want to teach the skills that the tech workers need to succeed in those tech jobs. They're all like, oh, we'll just make programmers. Okay, that's great. That's awesome. You're going to make a programmer. Okay? And they're going to build an algorithm. That algorithm is going to analyze whether or not you should invest in a house. You should buy a house. Okay? And it's going to take 15 different categories and put them together. This is very complicated. Very impressive. This is literally what they did in 2005. And it caused, several years later, the housing market to blow up. Why? Because in that algorithm, they never put in a minus for what if prices go down. Now, if you had asked any historian, they would tell you prices go down all the effing time, all over the place. The Great Depression, housing prices went down the entire country. But they go down when a big business leaves. Lots of people become unemployed. People move out. The demographics change. Like, Housing changes all the time in value. But nobody asked a historian. They all were great math people, and none of them had any skill with how systems work, how history works, how the country worked. And what did they do? They blew up the country. They melted the housing market. Basically, every big bank went bankrupt and had to be bailed out. Do you know how hard it is to bankrupt a billion-dollar bank? $100 billion bank, $1 trillion bank? And these guys bankrupted them all. And that's the thing. Like, you're going to build levels in your game. Okay, but if you're a white dude thinking about middle-class white dude stuff and thinking about it in middle-class white dude ways, you're missing a whole lot of perspectives on how to build, or how to think about something, how to do things. You've got your perspective down great, and that is not a bad perspective. It just is one. There are others. Writing can do that. History can do that because it teaches you how to think. It asks why. So this class is broken down into 3 parts. Each part is a third of the class, and each part is self-contained. So if you do badly on part 1, no worries. Start anew on part 2. You did well on part 1, you messed up part 2, no worries. Part 3 is still there. We've got 7 quizzes. 6 are based on readings from the textbook, and there's a syllabus quiz. We drop the lowest one, so that in the grades, we'll end up with 6. Tests, we have 3, one covering each part of the class lectures, whether they're in person or in video form. If we meet face-to-face, there is a participation grade as well, and you need to bring a 3x5-inch index card for our discussions. Things to know. Quizzes are quizzes and tests are tests, and the twain do not meet. So if you read the textbook, that's great for quizzes. It will not help you on the test. And if you watch the video lectures, if you come to class, that's great. It will not help you on the quizzes. The two are separate. So silo them. Keep them more or less apart. 2, memorization doesn't help. I know, you know, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Woo, you all know that. Okay, this class asks, so what? This class asks, who cares? This class asks, why did he go in 1492 and not in 1493 when he could have sailed the deep blue sea? And what happened? Why does it matter that he went? Well, what happened to the white people? What happened to the American people? What happened to the African people? What happened to people? What happened? Why? And why did it happen that way? And what does it matter now? That's what we're here to do. I don't care if you know when Columbus sailed the ocean blue. I care that you know why it mattered. It doesn't matter if you remember your anniversary. It matters that you know your wife is the most important person you've ever met. It matters why. Why do you want to go to nursing school? Why do you want to go to this particular nursing school? Why now? That's what we're here for. And we do this all the time. These are the things to know. Like, what is your child's favorite question? And why is it his favorite question or her favorite question? Oh, by the way, what is your child's favorite question? Oh, it's why. And you should feel proud. I know a lot of you want to rip your hair out when you hear why. But you should feel proud because they think you know the answer. They're like, Mommy knows everything. I will ask Mommy the question. And she will tell me, and I will be smarter because mommy is smart. That's awesome. Like, I know you want to pull your hair out, but from a different perspective, like, you're a god. Like, you have answers. You know stuff. But also, why did your girlfriend break up with you? Like, how many times have you sat around, Friendlies, having a burger and some fries and being like, I don't know why she broke up with me. And your friends are like, dude, really? You don't know? All right, let's break this down for you. First, when was the last time you changed your socks? Oh, 1992. Like, no, that's not true. You weren't born yet. That was a reference the professor could make in 2002, and it would have been funny. Now it's just weird. Well, that's true. And who goes to Friendlies? Why are we in a Friendlies? Are there even Friendlies anymore? What's the effect of Thanos wiping out half the Avengers? Like, dude, Thanos wiped out half the Avengers, which means your next movie has half the Avengers in it. Is it going to be called Half the Avengers? Can you really call it Avengers? Because it's not really the Avengers. It's really kind of half the Avengers. And really, it's basically Iron Man and Captain America. Why does it matter that a man rewrote an entire Taylor Swift album? Taylor Swift wrote an album. She put out the album. It was a huge album. And then a dude came along and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to re-record every one of those songs. And I'm going to put it out on my own name. Like, what is that? The misogyny in that is stunning. Like, you can't look at Taylor Swift and be like, that's just a great album. It should stand on its own. No, a man comes... And what does that say about American society? That people are like, well, very good, Ryan Adams. You remade Taylor Swift's album. Let's talk to you about it. Rather than talk to her about what's that like? To have a man try to rewrite your own songs. What about, why does it matter that Becky had good hair? Becky had good hair. It was very important to tell us that Becky had good hair. So it's very important that Becky had good hair. What does that mean? What does it mean for feminism? What does it mean for race relations? What does it mean for American society and culture? What does it mean? Why does it matter that she had good hair? Because I'm going to tell you, Beyonce thinks it matters a shit ton. It's very important that Becky has good hair. Because if Becky doesn't have good hair, she's not Becky. And, it's important that she's a Becky. It's also, why do we tell Felicia bye? Why don't we be like, Felicia, get a beer. Pull up a seat. Let's hang out. Why is it bye, Felicia? What does that say to Felicia? What does it say about us that we're saying that to Felicia? What does it say about society? What does it say about movies in the 1990s? What does it say about meme culture that we keep using it on Twitter and TikTok? History has the answers to these. Why? Because we know what happened. We know what people thought at the time about what was happening, and we know what happened next. So that can help us form theories about what and the why and what to do next time. Why do you ask, why did your girlfriend break up with you? So that your next girlfriend won't break up with you for the same reason. So you could be better, so you could improve. Now, we do not study history because we're doomed to repeat it. That's stupid. History never repeats. You never date the same person again. Everything is always different. But you can see the rhymes. You can see the patterns. I knew the war in Iraq in 2002 was going to be a disaster. I knew it. And then turned into a disaster. Why? Because I'm a military historian. I actually do counterinsurgency and insurgency. And I knew the Bush administration did not want to invest the money or the time. to win in Iraq. They wanted to go in, wipe out, bomb Hussein, get him out, put some flunky in charge, and leave. And spike the football. And what they did was break Iraqi society. And the entire society fell apart, and they went, oops. And you knew that was going to happen because they didn't want to put in the effort. American society didn't want to put in the effort. Americans did not want to have 150 to 250,000 troops in Iraq for 10 years. Or 20 years. Why don't we? Because we're Americans. And we have a long history of not wanting to do that. I have heard since the 80s about why are we the world's policemen? Well, when you get that attitude, you don't want to run a foreign country for a while, for 20 years. So, history can help. Unfortunately, you haven't learned history. That's the problem. You learn names and dates. That's why I will get students every year and they go, I hate history. And I go, you haven't heard history. You know names and dates. Because history is discussing what is the importance of Becky's hair. What is it about in African American society? What is it about wealth? What is it about culture? What is it about? Like, that's history. What do princesses say about American feminism? Is history. It's not important to know Cinderella was 1951. It's important to know what her goal is. What she thinks the good life would be. Which is to be married to a man who will take care of her. Who will protect her. Companionate marriage. That is her goal. And it's not even a thought in her mind through 3/4 of that movie. She just wants to go out and have one day where she's not working. Well, why? Because she's a working class girl. Breaking her back every day. So what does that tell us about the people, the girls who were sitting and watching Cinderella in 1951? What does it tell us about the girls watching in 1985 on the VHS? When 30 years of feminism had changed. That's what we're here. You cannot hate history because history is simply asking, why are things the way they are? You hate names. You hate dates. You hate memorization. Why? Because it's stupid. Because it's not real knowledge. And you know it's not real knowledge. And I understand that. And that's why we're here. We're here for why. Which is also why I get in trouble with students, because students want the memorization because that's safe. They know it. They're like, oh, I can memorize when Columbus sailed the ocean blue. But this, what does this mean stuff is way too complicated and I don't have time for it. And that's what college is, man. Like, college is supposed to be putting on the Doobie Brothers. Sitting back with a beer and being like, dude, why? That's college. Thinking the big thoughts. Some other points to remember. Withdraw before you stop coming. Try to get a W. If you're just going to stop coming to class, if you're just going to stop handing stuff in, try to get a W beforehand. Or I have to give you an F. That's not exactly true anymore. I have to update that. I can give you an NA and not attending, which works kind of as a W. But it's way easier if you do it. You go to the registrar. There's a form. I can send you the form if you need it. You fill it out. It takes 2 minutes. Number 2, if there are any problems or complaints with the class, with me, tell me. I can't fix the issue if I don't know it exists. And I'm the only one who can fix it. Literally, there is nobody. Like, you can go to my chair and yell about me, and the chair will tell you, have you talked to the professor? You go to my dean. You go to the vice president. You go to the president of the college, and they will all say the same thing because it's also written in our contract. You have to come and talk to me. I'm not that scary, but I can't fix the problem. And usually it's a 5-minute fix. It's, you have an issue, and I go, okay, let's work out a solution. Why? Because it's your class. As long as the answer is, I want to be able to go on Google and copy Wikipedia and get an A, we can work stuff out. So we can fix the issue. And if the issue is me, that's okay. I've had 18,000 students. They weren't all my best friends. And I'm not Dr. Fuzzy. I'm just not. I'm here to do the work. I get paid. It's a job to me. You know? I wish the Amazon employee who packages my package, I wish that man or woman the best. I want nothing but good things for them. But I'm not going to go and hug them and buy them a beer and call them my best friend because they sent me what I wanted. You know, they have a job to do. And all I ask them to do is their job. And all I require from them is to do their job. I give them money. They do the job. I'm very happy. 3, the PowerPoints or the lectures or the video lecture, the PowerPoints are not the notes, but an outline. So if all you write down in your notebook is the PowerPoints, or if you don't even write that, you will get a C at the very best. You have to write down what my explanations are, not just the outline. Because the real A, the real material, the real knowledge is in the explanation, not in the list. So don't tune out your professor because you're looking at what's on the screen or what's on the board. You have to play the whole game. You have to play all the parts. Finally, have fun. Get out of this class what you want. Want something out of this class. You're in it. You're in it 4, 5, 7, or 15 weeks. That's a lot. You're going to spend 100 hours together. We're going to spend 45 hours on lecture material in class. And then you've got homework to do. You've got prep to do. Like, we are interacting for 130 hours. That's what you're paying for. That's what 3 credits is. So want something for your 130 hours. Want something more than a grade. Grades are not education. I wish everything was pass-fail. Either you could do the work or you can't do the work. Because that's really how work works. I have worked many jobs in my life. I have never gotten an A, B, C, or D. I've got an A. You can do it or you can't. It's acceptable or it's not. Get the education. The grade will follow. If you know what you're talking about, you'll do great. And that's true. Learn how to study. Learn how to learn. Learn how to think about things. Because that will help you in your job. You want to be a nurse? You're going to have to explain things to people all the time. You're also going to have to take in lots of information. You're going to have to take in huge amounts of information, and you can't ignore any of them. Because if you do, something bad happens. History teaches you how to put those pieces together. We do deconstructive and instructive, inductive reasoning in this class. We put things together and build something bigger. We take things apart to see how they're constructed, to see why they work the way they work. That's what our class does. And it's a unique class that does that. That's why everyone takes it. That's why we ask everyone to take it. That's why it's a Gen Ed class. Because it will help you in no matter what job you want in the future. It will help you in your personal relationships. It will help you in your work relationships. because it will help you to think about how to interact with all these pieces. So, thank you. Good luck. It's a pleasure to meet you. I wish you the best. Stay healthy. And see you soon. Be safe.